All right, so let's just address that question you just asked about, like, driving the ball and, like, the long drive people, right? Versus like somebody who's trying to hit fairways, like, so this is obviously, well, here I'm recording, hang on a sec. This is obviously for like long drive. This is Kyle Berkshire. His foot comes up more than a normal driver of the ball. He stomps down and then jumps up. And so it's like, it's this like and the reason the foot does that is because when we're adding whip, we're trying to hit upward. And so these guys are exaggerating this like upward like striking motion, which is why, look at this. This is the craziest part of the picture. Look at this picture. He's literally airborne, and look at the tilt he's in. He's on a tilt, man. Now, and then look at this. Matteo Manazaro. I saw him at Torrey Pines this year. I analyzed his driver swing. This guy is, let me tell you, smooth operator. Okay. Like when he goes back, right? Look, where's his hip and his head? Look, what's his foot look like? Stable. His heel didn't rise at all. The amount his heel was off the ground remained the same, I can assure you, to the top of that swing. It stays very grounded, we would say, right? And look, he hasn't made as big of a backswing. He's not taking it over his shoulder, right? Why? Because he can get enough distance this way, and he needs to get the ball in the fairway. They just highlighted Calvin Peete this week. 10 years, he had number one fairways in regulation on tour at 85% one year, which is an incredible feat. But look at this. Then Manazaro, when he comes down, there's not like a big jump. He doesn't jump upward really at all. I mean, he's using the ground, but like he's staying down and through. Look, his head's back. He's in the tilt. He's staying low through the shot. His feet are on the ground. Look, both his left foot's still on the ground. It's not going airborne. Look, it's still on the ground. You know what I mean? And this is a more control style way to play the game to hit fairways in regulation. You know what I mean? And so I try and see how I call it the power triangle. See how he has that space there, face is square, right? Staying down in the power triangle position. And look, he's using the crescent moon to get the distance. That's a big difference between the blue and the purple line. And this is what I like to do too, because I went on a distance craze like 4 years ago, and I got my club speed up to 127 and was hitting drives like 355 and stuff. And then my fairways were dropping and my greens in regulation were going down, and my handicap started going up, and I didn't like it. I went from a +2 to a plus 0.9, and I was like, what the heck? I just lost a stroke because of trying to hit the ball farther. And so now I don't even worry. Like I hit a drive yesterday, 297, and I wasn't even trying to hit it far. I was just trying to hit it solid and do the right form. And so I would say you don't really want to get too much of this, like you described, this like stomping down and going up motion if you're trying to be consistent generally. Now, yes, in a long drive scenario, if you're trying to long drive contest, they put the thing in the fairway and you have to, whoever hits the furthest wins the prize. Then yeah, you can mess around like that. Par 5 that has no trouble everywhere and you're trying to get there in 2, yes, mess around with that potentially. If there's out of bounds and there's water, no, make a normal stock swing, put it in the fairway. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's a reachable hole or it's a long par 4 that I have to hit a big drive, I'll then try to maybe add more whip and get a little bit more aggressive with the motion. But I think you'll find you'll be more efficient at scoring if you're more focused on, a level like motion instead of having the heel coming way up and then the heel going way down, which would potentially give you up and down motion. I would steer away from that. I try to get fairways.